Welcome to Vacation Station, hosted by Lisa and Nancy, editors of BigBlendMagazines.com.
Welcome to Big Blend Radio's Vacation Station Travel Show with Nancy and Lisa. Today we welcome back travel writer Debbie Stone, and she has been all over the South lately. I mean, she's been from Virginia Beach, she's been to Greenville, South Carolina, she's been to all these national parks like Dry Tortugas and Biscayne and Congaree. She has been the Key West, I think it's Ponte Verde, I think she's going to tell us about too. But today she's going to talk about her first destination on this big adventure she took through the South. She started off in Virginia Beach. Now, I want to go. You can check out the website, visit virginiabeach.com, but I also encourage you to go to blendradioandtv.com and just type in Virginia Beach, and you can, actually it's right there on the homepage right now. You'll see big Zeus, this big sculpture of Zeus, and you know it's
cool.
He's really cool. But her story is up there and will also be featured in an upcoming issue of Vacation Station Travel Magazine. But first things first, welcome back, Fire Monkey. How are you?
I am doing well, and ladies, you too?
Yes, we're doing fantastic. We're up in your home state of Washington, just outside Seattle, and it's beautiful. And we've been in all kinds of places that you've written about, and a lot of other writers too. So we kind of feel like a homecoming in a way being out here. And just you guys, they make wonderful wine in Washington.
Among other things, right?
Yes, yeah.
Of course.
It's beautiful. But it's so interesting. Here we are, and then you're completely on the other side of the country at Virginia Beach. And gosh, you know, your photos and the article sounds like this is a place where it's kind of like a destination. It's a destination that has something for everyone. So like, I almost feel like a whole family, a multi-generational adventure could happen if you go to Virginia
Absolutely.
Beach.
I think there's something for every age and every interest, so to speak, and But what really surprised me about the place was it just is not like your typical beachy type of destination. It's really has so many surprises. It goes beyond expectations, and what you usually expect with beach destinations are basically just all about the sun, the sand, the water, the sea. And it's wonderful, and I love beach destinations. But this one has all of that, plus it has museums and cultural offerings and great green spaces and historical sites and good food. And so it really is kind of this whole encompassing destination that you can find not only the sand and the sea, but everything else.
That's awesome.
That's cool. And King Neptune, I was calling him Zeus.
Yeah.
Who's Zeus? Why did I get stuck on
I don't
Zeus?
know, but Neptune, he's got the
King
pitchfork.
Neptune.
He's got
the trident. He's got the trident.
He's got the look. But he's awesome. He is the god of the sea.
He's a welcomer. I mean, he welcomes, visitors there. you can't miss him as well. It's right there in the center of the boardwalk there, which is a great 3-mile stretch. People, love walking on it, biking on it, whatever. And he's there, and he pays supposedly homage to the whole maritime scene there, and also tries to instill kind of environmental message about the ocean and everything. But what I found great about that whole boardwalk scene is that every so often you come across these wonderful nautical sculptures or these monuments, and so it's really fun. It's like finding these little outdoor gems or surprises, and they have done such a good job there of their outdoor art that it's a real pleasure when you're walking down that boardwalk.
I love this. And the other part too, all those sculptures, the fish sculptures, I love those. They're neat. But, it seems the other thing is that a lot of famous people come from Virginia Beach. And I didn't realize, like you were saying, like Ella Fitzgerald, Edgar Allan Poe,
Yep.
So that
Arthur
is something.
Ashe, yeah, President Wilson. I mean,
Oh,
there was,
wow.
there's a whole Legends Walk where,
Oh.
they honor these great Virginians and what the kind of contributions that they've made, and so every year they try to, I guess, put in a new inductee to the memorial, which is kind of cool, and
Wow.
yeah, so that's there, and then there's a naval aviation park there, monument park with a lot of aviation history sculptures in different times, and so it's just, I don't know, it's fascinating. You could just walk the boardwalk and learn so much about the area.
Wow, that's cool.
See, at the Naval Aviation Monument Park you talked about, so it's got all this naval, history, but at the same time, there's also a military aviation museum too. So a lot went down, when we talk about, military.
Correct. And, Virginia Beach is very close to Norfolk, which is, of course, very much military based and naval based. And so there is a lot of that history in that whole region. And you can go to that museum, the Military Aviation Museum, and it's got this amazing collection of World War I, World War II aircraft, military aircraft, and
Wow.
it's all been restored. And it's also, they do these flight demos if you're there at these air shows, and you can see these amazing, historic vehicle aircraft in motion, so to speak. So so there's this whole big tie-in there.
That's awesome.
Well, I know because the East Coast was really used a lot, for
Yes.
flight, and even like from Florida on up, it's actually how they started the Air Force. Even was off of there. These Yale students decided to get in, that they needed to fight from the air, and that's how we
Right.
got our Air Force. Actually, well, the pilots.
Yep.
Some crazy
Right.
history when you think about it. Like, hey, I'm just going to, skip school for a while and go fight a war and learn how to be a fighter pilot.
Yeah, I want to go
you know,
fly.
But they had to teach it. They
Crazy.
all got together and learned how to do it. And I think that it's an amazing story. But apparently, the East Coast is just, an amazing place to, for the visuals. And then, tying back to Norfolk, and we've actually done whole shows on this, but the connection between Norfolk in the States and Norfolk, England, and there's a huge connection,
yeah.
especially for World War II. So it's really fascinating when you get into that history. And then I think even Nancy and I right now, being out in Washington State, we drove up through the Redwoods, through California and up the Oregon coast, and also done, some like Whidbey Island and Anacortes. When you haven't been to the beach for a while and you start getting out on the beaches where all this history happens, I mean, the World War II history, and then you've got the seagulls, but you look out in the water and you think about what people went through,
Right.
historically, whether it's, World War I, World War II, it's pretty mind blowing. Imagine being on a ship. I mean, when things went down out there in the ocean and it's cold water and there's sharks.
No, it's cool.
I'm
Yeah.
just-
I know it's mind blowing. It just but it's, I think, for people who have an interest in that particular niche, it's really cool to combine that when you're on a vacation. If you have
Sure.
that interest and you go to these places and there is that tie-in, it's for some people that's a real highlight.
Mhm.
And then the history part too. I mean, you've got to think this is, the first landing state park you talk about, and that to me, and also the Cape Henry Lighthouse. I mean, this goes way back when. This is some of our oldest American history, I should say. Of course, our indigenous peoples, they come first, right? And nature comes first. But we're talking about
Right.
here is, the birth of Anglo America. Let's put it that way. How do we put it correctly?
Right. And the first landing state park is where, the colonists came from England, and they, first landed there in 1607. And, that is Virginia's most visited state park. And it is a national natural landmark as well, because it has all this amazing, these cypress swamps, these forests, these, right on the beach frontage. There's lots of trails. And then right across the way is the Cape Henry Lighthouse, which was the first federal construction project that the government approved following right after the Revolutionary War. You can climb the 191 steps to the top, and the views are amazing. And you can see the new lighthouse, which is across the way, which you can't go into, but I prefer the old and original lighthouse is quite cool to go in and get to the top of it. And you can see the bay, the Chesapeake Bay. So that is a real great historic link for Virginia Beach,
Now, I really want to talk about Edgar Cayce, and we've got to talk about surfing and all that good stuff too, and food and the historic hotel, and art. There's a whole bunch going on, but Edgar Cayce, when we talk about history, I mean, this guy, I don't know if you've read his books, but he's like trippy, dude.
He's a trip.
Oh, yes.
Not that I'm calling you a dude, Fire Monkey, but now he would get into how you got your name Fire Monkey too, wouldn't he? Do you think he would?
Well, he was this. Well, first of all, he was considered like the father of holistic medicine, but he was like this. He was a very highly documented psychic back in the 20th century, and he would go in these like hypnotic trances, and then he would give these psychic readings to people that were having issues, whatever it was, and health issues, and then he would outline their treatments. And he also could reveal past lives. He could predict future events, and he did readings. I couldn't believe he did readings over 14,000 people in his lifetime.
That's a lot.
Was insane. And so you can visit this, the ARE, which is the Association for Research and Enlightenment, his association there, and you can go in there and take a tour, and you can learn all about him. You can see the couch that he laid on and would give these, readings. And this woman who we had hired long time ago, but when she was just very young, would document or take the notes of these readings, and they're all in this library, and you can just pull out these books and see these readings and see what he said about these people who had different, ailments or different, issues that they wanted clarification on, and he just was this very, very, as you said, kind of a trippy dude, like you said.
That's cool. You could go to and lie down. I'm sure they wouldn't let you, but you could lie down on the couch, and then he gets into your body, and when you get up, you're him. Wouldn't that be spooky?
That would be very bizarre.
Nancy. Like, really?
Well, you never know.
I'm just saying. But I wonder how many people go there, he touched so many people. He touched so many people in his career. He really did.
And people today, the people want to, the people go there. By the droves. It's quite a highlight, quite a main attraction in Virginia Beach. Many people that go to Virginia Beach don't even know that it exists, and they find out about it and they're very curious about it. Or there are people that go directly to Virginia Beach for this particular highlight, because for them they're fascinated and they want to learn more about it. And there are all sorts of materials. There's all sorts of resources. It's basically an oasis for people, for scholars, for healthcare professionals, just for visitors who want to learn about his legacy. And he touched upon things like dreams and intuition and health and meditation, and so it's fascinating. And you can go and hear a lecture, and it's just and there's a spa there, and you can get treatments. So it's really, for me, I didn't know very much about him. I'd heard about him, but I didn't really know much about him. And so for me, it was this, a real kind of eye opener. And I was very curious about him. So I did a little bit more research after going there, because I was like, God, I need to know a little more about this man. He's very intriguing. He's deceased now.
Yeah. You should read his books, man.
Yeah, his work lives on. You know what I mean? So
he's real. And what blows my mind is that him and Edgar Allan Poe in the same area. That's wild stuff.
That's trippy.
That's true. That's very, very true.
That's that's trippy to me. It just, it kind of. Sometimes I think people are like these little soul groups, I don't know. That's not getting woo woo, but he'd dig that.
Or maybe the area just incites imagination.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it could be very attractive to people for certain reasons. I know for him, he got to Virginia Beach because of his own readings, which pointed him to that destination. So
Wow.
something told him that he should go there. And whether or not other people, are attracted or feel a magnetic pull to there, it's interesting who finds their way there.
Mm. Well, speaking about that too, the nature side of it sounds like that's part of it, is that it's beautiful. The ocean does things, and I think there's a magic to the ocean. Just the
Oh,
tide going in and
absolutely.
out, and I think that that's part of it. That these people go there. There's the beach is healing. It really is. I mean, you cannot beat
Yes.
a walk on the beach. It's even if it's bad weather, there's just something
Yeah.
awesome about it. So
Yeah.
I bet it draws people in from there. But you went on a boat ride, didn't you?
No, I did not go on a boat ride there. No, I did
Oh,
not.
and you were talking about a boat tour that does that
There
about
is a boat
oysters.
tour. Yeah, there are. You can take. You can go whale watching. You can go oyster. You can go to see all about oysters. You can do dolphin watching, depending on the time of year.
Ooh.
You can do all of that. And yeah, there. We heard this man with the oysters. He does the Pleasure House Oysters boat tour. His name is Captain Chris Ludford, and so he gave a talk to our group at the time, and talking about what goes into all the farming and growing oysters. And so he does a whole excursion for people who want to get out there and really learn about oysters, and of course taste oysters and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, there's a lot. There's so many. The water sports are huge there, and boating is obviously big there. Surfing is probably king at
That's wild. You
Virginia
never
Beach.
think of the East Coast being the surfing
No,
spot. And I know I've
no.
got friends right now that are yelling at me. Of course it is. Of course it is.
But don't you always just kind of assume that the water is going to be way colder than on the Pacific coast?
And it probably is. It's definitely. I'm sure it is. Definitely because it is
Not
a
in
little bit farther
Washington.
north. I mean, compared to water down in Florida or water on the California
Exactly.
coast.
Yeah.
But it
Ew.
is. It has. It. This has. They have a rich history there of surfing.
Yeah.
It's pretty
That's crazy.
amazing, and it goes back to the early 1900s. And somebody brought back a particular type of Hawaiian surfboard, and which was the first kind of its kind on the East Coast, and that started this whole, this surfing culture there. And one of the surfing's major competitions, which is the Coastal Edge East Coast Surfing Championships, occur there every August, and it is a major event, and thousands of people come. Lots of professional surfers, amateur surfers, everybody, people from around the world come there, and it's just not surfing; it's all sorts of other types of sports like stand-up paddleboarding and beach volleyball, and it's a big deal. And I thought to myself, gee, that would be so much fun to come back and actually watch. Because I think watching surfing is so
It's
exciting.
amazing. It is.
I agree.
Yeah.
I really agree. Surfing it's awesome, and it's not that easy, but people who get into it, I mean, and that, there's a meditation to that too. Most of the surfers I know are they're chill. They seem to have a calmness about them that the ocean, I think, is very humbling too, So when you get out there and you are at the, it's all part of Mother Nature. So
and I
she's
also
ready.
think as a surfer, they have to be very patient because they're waiting for the right waves, they're waiting for the right conditions. So they have to be, you talk about them being chill, but I think it's just, it's a patience in learning how to, be with Mother Nature, and figure out how to utilize, the water and the waves, to their advantage in terms of the sport. So, yeah, I think that, that chill kind of personality lends itself to that activity.
I dig it. It's cool what you can do out there, but there's a lot of hiking too. That's the other thing. You went on a nice boat trip as well.
Right. I didn't go on the boat.
I'm not a boat trip, a hiking trip. I am stuck with the boat. What is
She's
with
stuck
the boat?
on the boat. Get her off. Get her
I don't
off.
know why I'm on the boat. I'm like, you went on a boat. I don't know why I am stuck on the boat. You need to go on the boat. That's what has to happen. You have to go back so you can go
I
on the
know.
boat.
I'll have to. Yeah,
Okay,
I'll
I
definitely have
know.
to go back.
I know, but you know what? I've been reading all your stories. That's the thing. You've been out on the water, you've been on seaplanes, you've been on all kinds of things. So I've got you going everywhere. But you also went to a park though, and that there was no boat in the park. Everybody, you can go on a boat, but Debbie did not go on the boat yet. But Mount Trashmore Park, what a name!
I
Mount
know it. I
Trashmore.
had to go and see this place because I thought to myself, this is just very, very cool. It's created. It was created by, they said, compacting layers of waste, solid waste and soil, and so they created these two man-made mountains, and the main one is called Mount Trashmore, and it's now about
Wow.
60 feet in height and 800 feet long, and it's just wild. You can walk up to the top of it, and there's also, the park is great. It's a local favorite because it's got, acres and acres and acres and trails, and
Wow.
there's a skate park and playgrounds, and there's 2 lakes there, and so we walked around there for quite a while. It was just a nice place, and I just had to go see that because I thought to myself, this is very interesting. I haven't heard of this before.
Yeah, that's different.
That is cool. Now, tell me about the food. Did you have seafood? Because you must
Well,
have.
of course.
There's an oyster dude, because I know you love seafood too.
Definitely. I mean, this is a great, coastal destination, and of course, seafood. If you like, all the different kinds of shellfish, and you like fish, and you will find it in spades there. It's just, they have, what is very interesting is that she crab soup, which is very delicious, and then flounder and rockfish and scallops and shrimp and soft shell crab, and just every type of seafood you can imagine, and it's fresh and it's good, and lots of the restaurants there are really fun places, lively, live music, or they're on the beach, and so it's a great scene, great food scene, just great ambiance all around.
So food, and then there's craft brews, from what I hear, on a boat. Because there's a craft.
Yes, there is. Yeah, you honed
She
in
had to
there
get
real
the
well.
boat in there.
That is so funny. There is the boat, and so there's a beach beer trail, and I want to go on the beach beer trail.
Yeah, definitely.
That sounds.
And
that is.
They
my
have,
side.
yeah, they've got a thriving craft beverage scene. I'll tell you, they've got distilleries and beer, and then they've got this signature drink, the Orange Crush, which I thought was kind of interesting. It's a local libation, but you've got your orange juice, your Sprite, your triple sec, and that's a local favorite there.
Yeah, that's, to me, it is a local happy joy kind of thing to do, is to be on the beach, have some beer,
Right.
Go have libations, the fruity orange crush. I want to do that.
Absolutely.
We need to try that, and then have a really good room at the end of the day. So that's the thing. Now, this is another bit of history, is the Cavalier Hotel and Beach Club. To me, this is just, this is a place to go on its own. Like, this is a destination.
Absolutely. And even if you choose not to stay there, you can go and walk around on your own and check it all out. It is this magnificent property, has circa 1920s, and at the time was declared the finest resort hotel in America. And it's up on this little bit of a hill, and you overlook the ocean front, and it's, has this kind of Jeffersonian style architecture, and, with a rotunda and, these cupolas and porticos and sloping lawns and sunken gardens. And the beach club used to be, which was interesting, the beach club is a little bit further, is like right down the hill, right on the water. And it used to be this big band hot spot for like Benny Goodman and Glenn Miller. And
Cool.
Also Frank Sinatra came there. And so, today it's now, the private beach, the members lounge, the place for, if you stay at the hotel, you can go down there and swim and hang out there. So it is just a really beautiful, elegant spot, and they do high tea there, and then there's a whole historic area where you can learn about, the past of the hotel and what happened to it and how it was used during the war and how it fell into disrepair, and and how people came together to preserve the property, and it reopened just a few years ago, and it really is a standout property.
That's amazing.
It is
Wow,
incredible.
what history.
I
Yeah.
know. See, I
Wow.
love hotels like that when you have that backstory, you know.
Mhm.
And hey, you know, F. Scott Fitzgerald he liked to go out there, so you know.
Good for him.
Yes.
I mean, that's
there
another
are plenty
one.
of ghosts. There's plenty of ghost stories there. I mean,
We
really,
like
there's,
that.
yes, of course, because
We
something
like
that
ghosts.
historic, of course,
Ghosts are cool, man. They're not done yet. They just want to say, hey, y'all, I got more to say.
Man, it is great. That is, to me, it just being able to have such a variety of things to do. You know, do you think like a family could stay there for like a week and still, you know, keep really busy? You know,
Oh, definitely. I think, the one thing we not touched upon is the aquarium and the Marine Science Center, which I think is one of the, it's really a good aquarium. I was really quite pleased with that. I've been in lots of aquariums, and this one was great. Not only did it have a lot of interactives there for kids and for adults, but the creatures that they had were great. My favorite. I love the jellyfish. To me, are so mesmerizing. The way they kind of like just morph into these different shapes, and they have a great children's discovery zone. They have this wonderful, section with sea turtles and sharks and all sorts of species. So that's a great place for a family. You're there on the beachfront, you're there at the sea, and it's like, why not learn about some of the creatures that live in the sea as well?
For sure. That's important that you learn something while you're there. I mean, and that's a great way to get children interested. You never know. Somebody might turn out to be a marine biologist one day,
Absolutely. You might spark some interest, And then, if you like art, they have the Museum of Contemporary Art there. They have also this place called the Vibe Creative District, which is this whole area that's kind of a hub for the city for artists and artisans, and a lot of creative businesses there. And you'll know it when you're there because there's just the sidewalk art, there's murals, there's sculpture installations. And so, so there's this whole creative vein that's there as well. So you've got all these different people with, different interests, whether you've got the surfers, you've got the artists, you've got the marine folks, you've got, it's just, you've got the whole kind of military tie-in. So, and then the food. So it's really a place that appeals to so many interests.
And there's boats.
Yeah.
Don't forget the boats.
Whether you go on them or not.
Which I did not go on.
I'm sorry.
For the final time.
On the boat. I know, but you need to go back now. Or maybe Nancy and I will just go there. We'll go do the boats.
And go on the boat for you.
Yeah,
and say
we'll
we're
go.
on the boat.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll go on the boat. Apparently, I want to go on the boat. But you went on a seaplane, too. So we'll be talking about that in your next interview.
I did.
Everyone, Debbie is on the show every fourth Tuesday here on Big Blend Radio. And we talk about all her destinations she's been to. And she really did have this epic, tour from Virginia Beach down to South Carolina and Florida. And so our next interview with her will focus on Dry Tortugas National Park, Congaree National Park in South Carolina, and also Biscayne National Park. And we'll touch on her adventures in Key West and Greenville, South Carolina. So, and, in this, she went in a kayak. Did you go on a boat? You did go on a boat, right?
Got it.
I did.
She went on a boat. Yay.
So Debbie was on a boat. So keep tuned. Stay tuned for that episode. Again, you can read her story up on blendradioandtv.com. Just type in Virginia Beach and you'll find it. And also it'll be in an upcoming issue of Vacation Station Travel. Now, if you want to go, which who doesn't want to go? And if you do go, please post your pictures of the boat ride. Go to visitvirginiabeach.com. Thank you so much, Debbie. Always a pleasure.
Thanks, Debbie.
And fun to hear about your adventures.
Thank you so much, ladies. Safe travels to you.
You too. Take care.
All right.